All right, Operation Kill the Hornets, done. By the way, if you have this situation, wasps and hornets, Dawn. I use all natural stuff, but I went and I bought some Dawn, and you dilute it in water and it suffocates them. So I don't love using chemicals if I don't have to. And it didn't work as effectively as I thought, but I had a really big water bottle, so I think I might have diluted the Dawn a little bit too much. But yeah. And some of them are coming back because they remember their home. And I keep just going out there with the Dawn and spraying the hell out of them until they literally drop from the sky and drowned in watered down Dawn. So yeah, to all the people out there who get upset about people killing things, I want my porch back. I will put a spider outside. I have let flies have their fun to an extent. I don't kill every mosquito, but I am not hanging out with hornets or wasps. Not doing it. You know, I was listening to, I don't know, all this information just comes to me. I've been teaching and then I've been cleaning and, you know, trying to get organized, switching out my summer stuff for winter stuff. I'm so not prepared for winter here in Brevard. I have to go get warmer stuff. Not prepared, but that's okay. So I'm doing a bunch of stuff today and I'm trying to get Charles's room ready, my new roommate, for when he moves in, because when I moved in, nobody had cleaned or gotten my room ready, and it was disgusting. And it took me 6 hours to clean my room and like have it be livable. And I don't want that for somebody else. So I'm going to clean his room for him. And so I've been like, I just mopped his floor for him. No good deed goes undone, and I'm sure he'll appreciate it. So, but I was listening to, there's so much nutrition advice out there. It drives me crazy. You know, I went to school for nutrition for a year. I've done every diet under the sun, everything. You name it, I've tried it. And I get really upset at people who, I said this in my video that I posted yesterday or today, you know, people that try to sell you a formula. At the end of the day, we are so bio-individual, and even blood work, you'll get different reads every day. I've done the bioresonance scans. When I tell you, I've spent over $20,000 trying to get myself well. Yeah, at least. And if you talk to anybody with like chronic illness, chronic pain, chronic Lyme, they will tell you the same thing. So I know people who've sold their house for money to do alternative modalities. This is my biggest pet peeve. I understand, you know, and I feel the same way. To an extent, I need to get paid for my training, my schooling. You know, my yoga insurance right now is astronomical, especially with Ariel because of the safety issues. So that has gone up. When I say hundreds of dollars, I mean hundreds of dollars. You know, I'm in the process of getting 2 certifications right now. All of this costs money and time, and my time is valuable, and I should get paid for my energy and my time and my skill set. But when we don't make things affordable, there's a problem, and wellness is becoming unaffordable. And I just don't love it. And I'm sick and tired of these practitioners saying, I'm worth it. I'm so valuable. I'm worth it. You're not more worth it than the next person, honey pie. Let me just tell you that right now. You know, I had somebody in Point Pleasant Beach who was charging like $250 for like a consult, and then a crazy amount per private session. And the only people that could go to her for her specialty were very wealthy Point Pleasant Beach moms. You know, and it's like, okay, well, I want to feel better too. And we're seeing this more and more and more. You know, I had an MD, a doctor friend, who became a functional medicine doctor. He's an excellent functional medicine doctor in New Jersey. I think his last name is Banya. And he was accepting my copay. At the time I had health insurance and I was going through my health insurance, and he was accepting it. And he's like, when I graduate and I get my certification as a functional medicine doctor, you're going to have to pay all out of pocket. And I did it once and I was like, this is crazy. I can't be forking over all of this money for one appointment. And he was like, Carrie, it's unfortunate. And he agreed with me. So a lot of people are in agreement and their back is against the wall. I know chiropractors are having a really hard time with putting adjustments through insurance. And so there needs to be a third place solution. I heard somebody talk about this and I was like, fucking rock on. I love that. Third place solutions. I'd never heard of that before. So there's we got to start looking for third place solutions. What is the answer? I don't know. I've been told that my prices are too low. And then I put something out there and I get everybody's sob story and everybody saying to me, I can't afford it. Like my yoga hike coming up is $55. Well, I'm wilderness and remote first aid certified. That costs money. And that was hours and hours of training. And I have to keep up on that training and get recertified. On top of that, I'm CPR first aid and AED certified for adults and pediatrics. And FYI, a lot of times when you're going to out on hikes with guides, a lot of these people don't have any of this background. So if the shit hits the fan, they can't help you. You just got to hope that somebody's on the hike that can help you. I've taken an 8-hour survival 101 training. I got a survival training through Wilderness Medicine Doctors. I just did one of their free trainings the other day. So people like me put a lot of time and energy and effort into what we do. We always need to stay current so that we can provide the highest level of care for our clients. And we are providing care in the same way as you would do in a clinical setting, except we're more holistically minded. And I love the blending of both. I'm a big fan of that. And so, you going to a nutritionist. It's like crazy, the amount of money that you have to spend. And this whole idea of if you think you must not think you're worth it if you're not willing to spend it. And it's like, where are we gonna get real with these ultra spiritual concepts that elicit such an enormous amount of guilt in people that they need to be submerged in the reality of, I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I can't afford to get myself into any more debt. I'd gotten myself into a lot of debt to get myself well as a single mother, and it sucked. And I don't want that for anybody. And I don't blame people for, being a little miffed about that. And so I get it. I don't think people who are unwell are sitting and saying, oh, I'm not worth the money to spend on an alternative practitioner. I think they're saying my kids need to be fed and clothed. So we really have to do away with some of these awful, what it is? We take really good ideas and concepts, especially in the spiritual world, and like anything else, they just get watered down or they're taken to, this crazy place where it's just not applicable. It's not realistic. And then people will say, well, we're all living in our own reality. Well, we kind of are. I mean, I concur. We kind of are all living in our own reality. But at the end of the day, if you are somebody struggling to put food on the table or you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're just doing your best to keep your head above water, I mean, does it have to do with the fact that you think you're worthy or not worthy, or that you're being really responsible? You're being an adult. You're making really mature, wise decisions for your bank account, for your family, for yourself. Because the more you drive your debt deeper, the more stressful it becomes. And then you feel so overwhelmed. It's like you're just constantly treading water. It's like, how can I get out of this place, And so I was listening to, everybody's trying to sell you a formula. Everybody has their own supplement company. None of this is bad. I'm not knocking these people, but I'm going to tell you right now, not every supplement is for you. Not every diet is for you. Here's what I've discovered. And this is the reality of nutrition, supplementation. You are your own person. You can pay 5 different people a hell of a ton of money to help you get well. And at the end of the day, it's all trial and error. Keep a food diary and log how you feel. Are your energy levels going up? Are they going down? Are you feeling jittery? Are you feeling calm? Are you having any type of hyper reaction? Because a food allergy, by the way, could be an itchy, scratchy throat. My nut allergy was off the charts. Off the charts. I went to a renowned allergist in Red Bank, New Jersey, and she was like, how have you never gone into anaphylaxis shock? That is how bad my nut allergies were. She's like, the hives are measuring like off the charts. And she's like, you need to carry an EpiPen, Carrie. And I was like, well, I've never carried an EpiPen in my life. And she was like, you are allergic to everything that you're eating. And I knew that, but I didn't know what to eat. And so what people don't realize is you could be eating spinach and reacting. You could be eating carrots and reacting. Just because a food is healthy doesn't mean it's the best food for you. Just because some of these idiots online are saying, eat this food and, you're going to like clear this or clear that or heal this or heal that. They're making a lot of money off of desperate, vulnerable people. Trust me, they are. Even in the exercise and fitness world, there are so many people that are selling you absolute nonsense. And it's a really hard pill to swallow. And I would hate for people to get tripped up in this, because when you are sick, you are so desperate for relief. You are so desperate to get better. And the best measure for your health is your own wisdom. And we stop trusting ourselves, or we're just so overwhelmed with the amount of information out there. I think I'm not a big fan of Ayurveda. As a yoga teacher, I'm not a big fan, because they are so predominantly vegetarian based, and most of us are designed to eat meat. And that is a fact. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. Red meat is a health food. It's a health food. Eggs are a health food. There's a lot of ideas out there, and a lot of them are based in profit. And profit over people does not just fall into the oil companies and the pharmaceutical companies and the medical field. It is seeped into the spiritual community and the health and wellness community. So you need to be really diligent and have high levels of discretion. I think the blood type diet is one of the best and easiest formats to start to follow. And if you're not getting relief, I would look to traditional Chinese medicine before I would look to Ayurveda. It's not that I'm against Ayurveda. I love Ayurveda more for like the emotional, mental. And figuring out your dosha is very helpful. But trust me, I'm somebody who worked for more supplement companies than you could fathom. I've worked in a few health food stores. And I was a sales rep selling supplements for 3 years. So I was entrenched in that world for 8 to 10 years. And so much of it is you pissing your money down the toilet, even the whole food-based supplements. And when you're taking formulations with a ton of stuff in it, you have no idea what you're reacting to. Right? Like there's 7 herbs, 8 herbs, and you can't narrow it down if you're a sensitive person, or you're just feeling off and it's like, well, I'm taking this supplement. There could be 3 herbs in there that are rock stars for your constitution and physiology, but how can you identify that? And so I'm big into calorie restriction. I think we need to go back to the basics for weight loss. There are very basic beginner steps to fasting. We are living in a time where we can walk down the block or across the street and get access to food. We were not designed to eat this way. Even the 3 meals a day is a myth. It's a myth, especially in the wintertime when our ancestors had very, very little access to food. We are designed to be able to move our bodies freely and breathe freely and not rely on a constant bombardment of nutrients through food and supplementation to sustain ourselves. Now, yes, there's environmental factors. There's an enormous amount of stress in the world, but do you think our ancestors that were getting like chased by wild animals didn't have stress? They didn't have washers and dryers. They didn't have dishwashers. They were outside. They didn't have bathrooms. They didn't have any of the luxuries that we had. I think that was pretty stressful. And I think they did a bang up job of surviving and often thriving. And so I think it's getting back to the basics. Keeping a food journal, logging your sleep, logging your fluids, cutting back on caffeine, getting outside, and calorie restriction. The best way to lose weight and lose fat is to move your body more and eat less. That's it. We eat way too much. We're eating way too much. We have too quick of an access to everything. So we know what video games are doing to our youth. We know what technology is doing to our youth. We know what social media is doing to our youth. We have children that are obese. Never in the history of humanity have children ever been obese or have had type 2 diabetes by the time they're 8 years old or chronic illnesses. We are seeing high levels of degenerative diseases and so much mental illness. And so we really need to go back to the basics and just keep it simple. I would really encourage you to step away from the pressure of paying for all of these high-end programs. These people are making a lot of money off of your desperation and vulnerability. And I'm not saying that they're not all legit. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if you lined up 10 people that enrolled for the same program, I guarantee you 1 or 2 of them were probably successful on that. It's not a high percentage. Calorie restriction, get outside, get outside, get outside. Even when there's hornets and wasps, get outside. Just bring your spray bottle of watered down Dawn dish detergent. Move, breathe. I mean, you could lose weight just doing intense breath work. 30 minutes a day, 30, 40 minutes a day. Connection. Lower amounts of sugar. We eat way too much sugar. We know this. And eating the foods that are right for you. And it's going to take time. That could take you a good 6 months to figure that out. You know, you have to be patient. We want immediate gratification. We want the quick fix. I'm just going to take this pill. It's going to go away. You know, so-and-so who's the most famous yogi in the whole world eats this way, so I'm going to eat this way. I can't stand when influencers and very famous or popular social media people or people that are just popular in the media period go on and say, this is my morning routine. This is my evening routine. Everyone is so desperate to know what the other person is doing. What the hell's right for you? Figure it out. Sure you can. Take the time. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself. Try different things. Every morning I wake up and I do breath work and I journal and I feel great. Or every morning I wake up and I know now that I need to take some movement, whether it's like a gentle 15, 20-minute walk or some gentle yoga. I wake up and the first thing that I want to do is meditate. Or I want to journal right away when I wake up and get all my thoughts down on paper and set my goals and intentions for the day in writing. I mean, I would stay away from technology. I would stay away from social media and I would stay away from caffeine for at least the first hour of you being awake. But everyone's so hopped up on what is this person eating? What is that person drinking? What is this person doing in the morning? Well, how do they look so good? Well, how do they feel so good? 9 out of 10 times it's not going to be right for you because you're you. And there's only one you. Save your money. Save your money. And just do the work. And I promise you, you will get there. And it's going to take time. But it took you a lot of time to feel like crap. If you think you look like crap, then it took you a long time to look like crap too, right? It takes us a long time to get ourselves into quite a pickle. So it's going to take you time to get out. It's going to take you time to see results. It's going to take you time to feel better. But save your money. Unless you have a lot of affluence and a lot of wealth and you can piss your money away on stuff like that, save it step by step. Slow and steady wins the race. I really hope this helps because it breaks my heart. I don't want anybody to be like me where I was so desperate that I was, taking out loans, literally took out a loan to help get myself well because I just didn't know what else to do. And I didn't have a lot of support at that time in my life. And so I just went into certain things blindly. As much as I knew, I was just putting my money towards all these alternative practices, just praying and hoping that I would hit on one thing that worked. And you know what? It worked until it didn't work. And that's very common. And when I realized that and I started to figure things out and connect the dots and really hit on what works for me, or understanding that I needed to rotate certain healing modalities and rotate certain foods or whatnot and not drink certain things at all and not eat certain things at all. It's taken me 15 years to get here and I'm still figuring it out. But I definitely have a much better hold. And so stay the course and do your due diligence and try your best not to get sucked into this vortex of a lot of people who claim that they want to help you get well, and they really just want your wallet. I hope that helps. Love ya!